Hey guys, welcome back to the Citystead. So, the other day you saw me build this urban hugelkultur bed. I've been trying to think of ideas on what I'm going to do with this bed. I have a lot of things I can still plant, but I wanted to offer you guys something to show you what we could do with this bed. So this bed is a 4-foot by 4-foot bed. It's a perfect little square. What I'm thinking is, I'm going to plant this out and we're going to see how much food you can grow in a 4-foot by 4-foot garden bed. So let me go grab my seeds and we're going to get to work on trying to figure out what we could plant in here to try to maximize our space for food production. Seeds! Seeds! Get your seeds! So I got all my little seed tray here. I got a lot of new coming packages, a lot of old stuff, kneeling pad, and of course we got the dibber to help us plant. If you guys aren't sure what a dibber is, I will put a link to the video where we did a little review of the dibbler and tell you about what it is. So now we got to pick what we're going to plant out of all this stuff. I can't tell you how excited I am about trying to start this experiment to see how much we can grow in this little bed. I think we could really push the bounds and get a really good harvest out of this. So one thing I wanted to do is I definitely wanted to put some tomatoes in here because I know everybody loves tomatoes. And being that we are so late in our season, starting from seed is a little hard. So I had a couple tomatoes that are left over. They didn't get put in the ground yet. We're going to use them. They're just persimmon tomatoes, kind of like an orange tomato. So I'm going to put, they're going to be kind of by the front here. So I'm going to let them be able to grow out this way as far as I can over to the edge here. Because we're going to try to cheat a little bit and use some of this outside space just a little bit. I'm guessing if you got 4-foot by 4-foot, you got at least 5-foot by 5-foot, because you're gonna have to walk around it, right? Give us one tomato here, and I'm gonna come over right by you guys. We'll plant this other one way up in the front. The dibber is a great tool for this, but I'm wondering if the hori might actually be a little better suited to do a little bit of this cutting of the sod that I used when I built this hugelkultur bed. And if you're not familiar with how I built the hugelkultur bed, I will put a link to that video right there for you. Alright, so there we go. We got 2 tomatoes to start with in our little bed. Now, I already have a few ideas of what I want to try to grow in here, because I have been thinking about this and making this video for a little while now. One of them, alright, so some of the varieties that I got, I'm going to plant some greens. I got some Swiss chard, I got some arugula, some lettuce, and some broccoli rabe. I'm also trying to put some eggplant. I got a pepperoncino pepper and a black beauty pepper, or chocolate pepper, sorry. And then I'm going to do some pole beans. And we're probably going to do another squash over on this side. I haven't decided. So one thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to maximize the space with this 4x4 little bed. And I'm going to put a trellis up over top of it. It's kind of like a cheating, I guess, a little bit, but it'll give us more space to grow, because the more things we can put vertical, the better. So with that, we're going to use the beans on one side of this trellis, and we're going to load it up. So I'm going to go across here, make some holes every 2 or 3 inches. You gotta make sure to use pole beans. I got these Blue Lake pole beans. If you use a bush bean, they're gonna stay low. They're gonna bush out. We want them to make sure they can climb upward to give us more, use of our space. Put a couple down in these holes. Okay. Now, of course, we're going to be able to find what we planted and make up some markers. Now, because tomatoes are going to go up and we're going to trim these bottom branches of them, the little leaves off them, to kind of give them a more leggy stem, I'm going to use this area between the two of them to put my lettuce. And what I'm thinking is, when these bush out toward the top more, they will actually provide some shade down here. It'll actually help my lettuce grow a little bit better and a little bit longer into the summer, the really hot summer nights. Everybody knows that in the summer, lettuce will bolt really quick. So the longer we can keep our lettuce cool, the better chance we have of getting more harvest out of it. And I am going to go pretty heavy with this, almost market garden style, to where I'm just loading this thing up with as much lettuce as I can get. I got 2 little trenches I'm probably going to fill. And lettuce is real tiny, so just being very liberal with these seeds. Cover them back over. A little bit of dirt over top of them, not too much. Okay, we're gonna put the packets there. I'm gonna skip making the tags for you guys so I can get as much of this done as I can. So behind them, I'm gonna do my Swiss chard. It gets a little bit taller and it usually bushes out a little bit more, a little bit thicker of a plant. I'm gonna dig a trench for that. And if you watched any of my channel before, I have mentioned that Swiss chard is one of my absolute favorite plants. The leaves are good in many different ways. You can cook them, you can eat them raw, you can use the stalks kind of like a celery replacement. So it's a very versatile plant. It's a very good plant to grow. Alright, now we got a row of Swiss chard. Now let's get into our peppers. We want to make sure we have enough room to get those in here. I'm going to give you guys a different angle here. Alright, so most of what we did was all in the front now. We got beans all along the edge, our tomatoes, our lettuces, anything green. Now I got to get a little bit of room here for some eggplant. Eggplants are not a real vining out plant. They can be a little more compact. And I'm going to grow these Casper eggplant this year. They're like a white eggplant. I'm going to get a little close to my beans with them because my beans are going to go up the trellis. So I'm not too worried about doing anything to them that might affect them. And I'm kind of an eggplant fan. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start me 4 different eggplants. It's something that I'm going to eat a lot of, and it's going to work really well with those tomatoes come later in the summer. So I'm going to have a little more eggplant than probably most people would like. Now you could also put anything else here that is something you would like more, like a squash or zucchini or something. Now, we're going to do our peppers. Probably not going to need as many peppers because we're going to top them. We're going to try to bush them a little bit. And we're going to try to maximize our peppers. So our Swiss chards here, we got eggplant here. Thinking we can do a pepper here, 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 and we'll do them in a row. We're going to do pepperoncini in the front. beauty pepper back here. So I did want to put a little bit of arugula in here. We're not going to need as much arugula because we already have some other greens, but it's just something a little spicy, a little mix up. I like to have my greens have a little more flavor. I'm actually going to put this alongside between my beans and the other greens and the other tomato that we planted. So as you can see, we're pretty compact already in what we're doing, but this is part of what I want to try, is how close can we get with everything and how productive can we make this small area. Alright, so this is where we'd be taking a lot of advantage of our trellis that we're going to build over top of this, because we are going to plant some spaghetti squash, and that's a really good vining squash. So as it comes up, we can weave it into our trellis and it will take up a lot of that space over top and not spread out on the ground for us. So the spaghetti squash is a really heavy producer, so that'll really helpful as far as yields and how much we're actually going to get out of it. Right, sticking with the squash theme, I'm going to do some butternuts. I was thinking about doing zucchini, but I'm kind of doing the spaghetti squash as a summer and then the butternut as a fall winter squash. That'll give us a little more variety and flavors in how we use it. And another thing that is a good viner and will provide us with some greens is this Malabar spinach. And I'm not going to do a ton of them, but I'm going to put a couple on each side of this trellis to intertwine with all the other stuff, just as a extra in the greens, because I just enjoy greens a lot. So if you eat a lot of greens, I'm trying to maximize the greens I can get out of here with some of the vegetables. Now I got a little open area over here. What I'm thinking is some okra. I know what you're thinking, but you guys are northerners. Yes, we are, but we absolutely love our okra in this house. So after the okra, greens, peppers, eggplant, tomato, and some squash, what we really need to do is plant a cucumber. Probably some kind of pickling or a slicer. Not sure how I feel yet. So we're going with pickling cucumber. You can eat them like a regular slicer. They're really good. I might have to build another kind of trellis over here on this wall to be able to have space for them to climb with the rest of stuff. But we will keep an eye on it, and as it grows we will adjust what we need to. That'll be cucumber. And then the last thing I'm going to do is just kind of fun. I always plant herbs inside of my garden. I use them as defense against pests. I don't do anything, I don't spray or nothing, so I just use a lot of herbs. One of my favorite, and it's a very useful herb, is basil. And I'm just going to come in anywhere I think a little open spot was, and I'm just going to drop a couple basil seeds. And then I'm also going to find a couple more little herbs and I'm going to put them in here. But we're running out of light, so I got to wrap this up. Alright, so as you can see behind me, we got a lot of seed packets sitting in there. I'm going to make some tags and markers. We still have to build the trellis for it. Probably do that in the first update of it. But this is a 4-foot by 4-foot garden bed. And we're going to see how much food this little bed can produce. So any of you guys who are tight on space, this is a good thing to watch. This is going to be the experiment of, can we jam pack our plants? Are they going to kill each other, choke each other out, or are they going to work in a way that provides them all with the perfect environment to grow as good as they need to? And having a little bit of trellis space is obviously going to help us be able to grow some of the things that are larger and harder to grow in a small space, like squash, cucumbers, stuff like that. So hope you guys stay tuned to this little series. I will make a playlist for it and I will start linking them in there as we do it. Maybe we'll do an update every week or 2 weeks, probably 2 weeks to start off until they really take off, and then we'll do an update of how much we're picking out of it, how much we're growing into it, and just overall we're gonna see this experiment. I've never really tried to jam pack this much stuff into a small bed, so I'm interested. I hope you guys are interested, and I really got to wrap this up, make some markers, get this watered, and to get out of here since it's late at night. So we'll see you guys in the next one, and we're out.